welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is the show where we talk about the latest in pop culture and movie news. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And on today's show, we will be talking about Black Widow to be released both in theaters and on Disney Plus via PVOD.
Yeah, and Luca is actually going to get only released on Disney Plus.
Marvel's release schedule update. We'll talk about that during the show.
And Emerald Fennell is going to be writing the new Zatanna movie, possibly for Bad Robot.
Yeah. Oh, no, confirmed.
Oh, it's confirmed for Bad Robot.
Yes,
so
confirmed.
Even better.
You guys, welcome to our show. We're so happy to spend the next hour or so with all of you guys to talk about our favorite things, geeky stuff. And also, what I'm really excited for kind of after the stream is we're going to go, I found a place that's doing like a drive-through pickup for Girl Scout cookies. So we didn't get to have any last year.
No, we didn't. We missed all the Girl Scout cookies last year. But this year, we're going to be able, and it's like right up the street from us.
Yeah, it's super close. So we're going to drive by. I was talking to the organizer yesterday, and I was like, so how are you guys doing payments? Like credit card only? You guys have like Square? And he's like, oh, no, it's just like Venmo, PayPal. I'm like, even better. I have both. So super excited to have you guys all in the chat today. And already, look, he's back.
Chris's choice. Oh,
thank you so much.
That
Chris.
is evil.
Oh, here we go.
That is an evil. Oh my goodness.
So starting off today's show with a Chris's choice, with apparently a very hard question that I haven't even read yet, but I'm gonna read right now. Chris writes, "Who would win in a fight? Episode 3, Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Luke from The Mandalorian?"
Those
are they fighting each other?
Yes. Who would win in a fight between a death battle between the two Jedi Masters?
I would hate for Obi-Wan to fight both of his apprentices.
Oh my gosh, how good point. He would end up fighting both of his apprentices.
Yeah.
Well, oh gosh. This is tough because we've only got.
What is the Chris's choice if it's not tough, though?
Exactly. A part of me wants to start to lean immediately towards Obi-Wan because I love Ewan McGregor. I love I love the Obi-Wan character. Mm-hmm. I think even though I grew up with Luke Skywalker, mm-hmm. Oh God, but then again, the way it was in The Mandalorian, the way he just took down all of those droids.
Yeah.
And
yep.
That is a tough one. Okay.
Think about it.
Do you have any thoughts on your thoughts?
It hurts it always hurts to say in my answer during Chris's choice, I feel like. And mm-hmm. please, you guys watching with us, let us know in the chat. Start commenting in the chat if your pick, Obi-Wan or Luke from The Mandalorian. I gotta go with Luke from The Mandalorian. It is the Luke we've always wanted to see. He is so much more powerful.
That is true.
It really satisfied some of the things that didn't satisfy for The Last Jedi. If you've seen The Last Jedi, you know what I'm talking about in that scene there. So I feel like in The Mandalorian, they really gave us that. And they didn't like the way they did it was so cool to the way they filmed. And I think one of my favorite was it was kind of like almost like a mirrored Vader hallway scene from Rogue One, where Vader had force pushed someone forward, threw them up, and did this with and Luke did something similar with one of those what are the droids called?
Oh yeah,
destroy whatever, I don't even remember, but he pulled one forward just to like. The use of
right
the force,
onto the lights,
just the way they use the force is because I always sometimes when I'm watching, especially like the animated, I'm like, use the force. You have it, use it.
No, that is true. Okay, you know what?
Did I convince you? I didn't mean to.
Discuss, but and also here's the argument though: if the two of them are fighting, that means one of them mm-hmm. must have turned to the dark side. So if you're thinking about the two of them fighting. Who do you think turned to the dark side?
It wouldn't be Obi-Wan.
I don't think it would be Obi-Wan. I think it would. And the more and more I think about that, and the more and more
Dark Trooper,
we kind of break that down, then I start have to lean more towards Luke. But I just love Episode 3 Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I mean, and also
I know who doesn't.
And Clone Wars Obi-Wan, I love that era of Obi-Wan Kenobi. His personality, the way that he is truly a Jedi master. He's trying his hardest to, be a general in a war and be the master to the chosen one, kind of a thing. So,
twice.
But in a fight,
he'd be like, "What's wrong with me?"
I think Luke.
What am I teaching them?
I think Obi-Wan would be a little bit more restrained in his fighting too. where Luke
Mm,
would be using his full capabilities.
yeah, I would love to see it, but also would not. Going to the
Obi-Wan would
comments.
have the high ground.
Go, yeah, go. Going to the comments here. Debbie says, "I think you have to say Luke, but my heart hurts to say it." Same, Debbie. Same. Jason Bourne says, "I think Chewie takes them both. Just goes up,
Yeah.
take their arms.
And then
No more
beats him with it.
lightsaber fights for you, either of you.
How
Go,
do you
go
fight
to
without your arms?
go to your room. This is worse." Wasted Post says, "This is worse than when you threw Chip and Dale under the bus." You remember that? I remember that too.
Oh yeah.
Amr says, "Luke, hands down, he could tap into the dark side of the Force if need be. Plus, he is a Skywalker, son of Anakin."
That is true.
John,
But
Luke all the
remember,
way.
the
Mhm.
chosen one was defeated by Obi-Wan.
This is true. I hate you.
I hate you.
I hate
You were my brother, Anakin.
You did that yourself. So I have to. Hello, Devin. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in to watch. And Justin as well.
Thank
Hello.
you. Hey, guys.
Jonathan says it would be a tie because both Luke and Obi-Wan were at the fighting peak, both Jedi Master. That's true. That it would be really interesting to see. And we'll see.
And it also kind of depends on like Obi-Wan's resolve, kind of a thing. Because you saw he's throughout his history that we've seen him, there's been those moments to where he's just kind of dropped all of his restraints, kind of thing. Like when he fought Darth Maul, he was like, okay, you have now threatened my main goal and purpose in staying on this planet. 3 moves, you're dead.
That was my favorite. I know it's only 3 moves. I was like, "Well, it's over." You blinked and it was over, and it was seriously the best.
It's just honestly, I could sit here and just debate this argument back and forth and still never come to a full and complete answer, kind of a thing. To where I love geeky talk like that.
I know, it's great. So thank you so much to Chris for posing an awesome question in today's Chris's Choice. And last one before we move on from the chat. Andrew Valdez writes, "Isn't Luke considered the strongest Jedi by The Last Jedi? If Luke is a full Jedi, he would surpass all previous Jedi."
That is true.
It's true.
That's a good argument.
It's true.
But yeah, it's just so much fun to kind of geek out about. I'm wondering if they would ever there's a series on YouTube called Death Battles. And I'm wondering if they would ever do like an Obi-Wan versus Luke. Normally they do like Goku versus Superman kind of a thing.
Death battles or superhero beatdown? Are they the same thing or are they different?
No, those are 2 different things.
Okay.
Death battles.
They are different.
Death battles is animated.
Yes. They are different. Now that
Grogu,
as soon as I said it was different. But yeah, we love for a good, geeky conversation, geeky debate such as this one. But we also got some newsflash to go into. We have Helen Mirren joining the cast of Shazam 2, which is called Shazam: The Gods of Fury. She's going to be playing the villain.
Fury of the Gods.
Fury of God. What did I just say?
Gods of Fury.
What just happened?
It's kind of like Gods
I need Girl Scout cookies.
Our mind is right now on Girl Scout cookies.
I need tag-alongs.
And Thin Mints.
And Samoas.
Those are what we're going to be getting later on.
You guys, thumbs up this video if you also, when you get Thin Mints, you pop them in the freezer. And if you don't, try it. You will thank me later. Okay, so Fury of the Gods is what it's called, and she's cast to play the villain Hespera. I was trying to find a little bit of information on Hespera. I actually couldn't, other than that she's daughter of Atlas. That is the extent of it. But other than that, I love Helen Mirren.
Oh my
I think
gosh,
she's phenomenal in all the roles, and especially as of late, like I watch her and she just has so much fun, like especially in Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah,
she's having so much fun in that role, and I just can't wait to see her. Like this is like I am so excited for Shazam.
She has just that grace and that poise and just that aura about her that is just so like intimidating.
Yeah,
I mean, like what is it in Red? I loved her in Red, and yet she can still pull off this kind of dry humor so well that just makes you bust up laughing, but yet be so intimidating and so graceful at the same time.
Yeah.
And I am so excited to see her play a villain in a superhero movie. Especially the fact that I really don't know that much about the villains of Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just excited to hear more about Shazam, more
Shazam!
about that series coming out. Zachary Levi is coming back. So
So excited. We love the film. Like, it exceeded my expectation because I didn't know. I was like, how are they gonna do this to make it? Because you have a kid who can turn into Shazam,
yeah,
and like, how is it gonna be? Is it gonna be slightly cheesy, or is it gonna be there? There's kind of that fine line where you gotta have a good balance
yeah,
of both. And I think this movie really played out kind of when it needed to get serious. The tone kind of darkens a little bit for that, but it was, it's still like Billy Batson's still a kid,
yeah.
and his story and things like that. So I'm really excited about that. And Debbie dropping in the chat here says Ron Livingston was tapped to play Henry Allen. It was a
Oh,
Variety exclusive. So is that confirmed then? If he was tapped to play, that means he.
I think he
So we
was
get.
at one point. I don't think that he was
Oh
actually confirmed.
no. Yeah. Wasted Pope. The longevity of Helen Mirren's career has been insane. Yes, we agree. And we also have another super chat. This is from Chris McGovern. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
Chris.
much, Chris.
Chris writes, love your channel, guys. Wendy, where did you get the Captain America tank you wore in the last video? It was nice. Let me go grab it for you.
Captain America tank. I'm trying to remember. Wendy has some of the coolest geek clothes,
I do.
I have to admit. And a part of me is always a little bit jealous because
This is the
they don't
one.
make cool stuff like, some of the stuff that you have. I mean, they do have like this kind of stuff.
Oh,
Like,
no one ever saw the back because so I wore this in our Falcon and the Winter Soldier trailer reaction. I thought it was a nice, like ode to Captain America, to Steve Rogers, and it actually
Super
says
Soldier.
Super Soldier 41 on the bottom, and then nobody saw the bottom because the video was like chest up. So here's sort of the bottom. I got this. This is actually a jersey. It's actually men's and is a medium. That's why it kind of sort of fits me, but the armholes are really big.
But it
So
looks really cute on you. I mean, it looks really good on you too,
thank
even though
you.
it's like not like your size.
I was thinking of maybe taking in the armpit area. So like when I lift it up, it didn't look like I have like underarm wings, like pew, they go up. But I don't know. I have to play with because I kind of like the men fits, right? So the jersey, I don't know if they sold it anywhere, but once upon a time when I got to go to it was for the home release of Avengers Civil War, and I went to oh no, what's the facility where all the Marvel stunts team train? And we basically had an interview with not an interview, but it was like a press day to celebrate the home release, and they were having journalists
Oh
go
yeah.
to do the just a little like fight choreography with the stunt team. And the guy I fought with in the video, I believe, was the stunt double for Hawkeye, which is like really cool. Heidi Moneymaker was there. You guys know her as the stunt double for Black Widow. So they gave us like a little bit of like goodie bag to participate for both like journalists and influencers alike. So that was in, because they're like, are you team Cap or are you team Iron Man? So I picked team. Actually, I think I wore my Black Widow stuff. I actually think, but I told them I picked team Cap. So they had like goodie
Which
bags
is
for
actually, when you
us.
really think about it now and you look back on the MCU, you probably did not want to be on Team Iron Man because of it.
Why?
Well, one, Iron Man died. Two, Vision died.
Aw.
Three, Black Widow died. Most of the people on Team Iron Man have died in the MCU. So you're sitting here.
But she sacrificed herself. She didn't die. Well, so did
She
he.
still died.
Yeah, I know. Dang it.
And I'm still kind of like, Team Iron Man is not doing too well.
No, definitely not. So they said pick, so I picked it. It was a really cool experience. There's a video somewhere out there of like the fight viz. They were kind of talking through what it's like to create large battle scenes. We're talking about that airport scene, and what the stunt team and has to go through in order to create that, and they have to create a fight viz. So they kind of taught us a little bit of choreography, and we got to, do a little bit in that way. And then they edited it for us, put a little bit of special effects in there, make us look even cooler. So
I
it
have
was
to,
a really
don't you
nice
have
experience.
you have that video somewhere
I
up
have
on YouTube.
yeah,
It's
but
like
it's with
on
my
one.
it's like with my stunt reel too. I don't know if people wants to see that, but if you do, let me know. Comment on the chat, and I'll go and pull it, and I'll drop it in the chat, and I'll show you the acting
I
side
have
of
to admit,
Wendy.
Wendy has a pretty good fight reel. You have a
It's
good
okay.
couple of
I
scenes.
want to thank you. I want to update it a little bit because I think, but yeah, let me know in the chat, and I will go ahead and post it. But we also have a couple of oh my gosh,
We got a whole
stickers.
bunch of stickers.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris, by the way.
Thank you,
for your
Chris.
super chat.
Well, yeah, we got a whole bunch of stickers from Devin Lamont.
Yeah, I can't show it here on StreamYard.
Much. Oh, here, I can actually.
But thank you.
I can kind of like turn them here.
I know I see them on our YouTube channel, but there's just there's no way I see it. It's a little peach, mic drop, a little
one
keep
is a
it up.
superhero.
Oh, the superhero peach. Pear. I don't know my fruits.
Honestly, we have not been, since we kind of like buy all of our food at like for like a long period of time.
Yeah.
We will have fruits and vegetables for like the first part of it.
Yeah.
But then we kind of run out because everything we're like, oh shoot, it's gonna go bad. So we haven't seen very many fruits and vegetables in a while.
What is a fruit? What is a pear?
Up.
And a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Devin. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your support. And if you guys are ever curious about where the super chat money goes, we keep track of the super chats so that we know when we need to upgrade equipment or buy new software and things like that. That is kind of like the porch, so we know how much money we have to use to supplement the channel. So so if you're ever curious, that is where the money is going. Oh my gosh, I feel so
thank you guys so much for all of your love and support.
Thank you so much. And also kind of continuing the conversation, since we're on the realm of DC, we can also talk about Zatanna, the movie.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know. Now we get a confirmed writer, and none other than Emerald Fennell, who her movie Promising Young Woman, which by the way, if you haven't seen it yet,
so good.
It's so good. It's available now on home release, so you can get it digitally. You can get it you can get it on Blu-ray and DVD and digital. And the movie's nominated for 5 Oscars. Yep. She's nominated for Best Director at the Oscars this year, and she is going to write the Zatanna feature under obviously Warner Brothers and Bad Robot. So I'm really, really excited. There's really no word yet as to whether or not they're going to let her direct as well. I feel like
I hope they do. I mean, because if she's up for Best Director, then yeah, they really should be like, hey, obviously she's got talent, kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
So, but I would love to see her rendition of the Zatanna character, because that's a clean slate. You have so much free reign with that right now, because no one's done it. I mean, she's been in animated and comic books, and that is it.
She's done live action once in Smallville.
Yeah, she was in Smallville, an episode of Smallville,
and then she's seen in Justice League Dark.
Yeah,
I think so. But this will be the first time she ever gets a feature film, which I'm really excited about, because I think that opens the door for, like, not to take away from Zatanna or anything like that, but like Constantine, because that they're connected, and like how cool will it be to just at least that would just open the door. And I know the DCEU, there are some movies that don't connect to other ones, and we're okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
But if they want to kind of connect a Zatanna and Constantine movie, and have like that would not complain about that at all. So,
and I think that would be great too. Honestly, using Zatanna would be a good shoehorn into starting to make the Justice League Dark series.
Yeah,
if you wanted to make that part of the MCU, because they're really doing like their own little pockets of cinematic universes. Like, it really does kind of seem like Shazam is in his own little cinematic universe. Justice League was in their own cinematic universe. Zatanna, Joker. And honestly, I think that would be amazing to be able to start to build this Justice League Dark series with Zatanna, to where she's the one who bumps into Constantine and starts doing all of these struggles with dark entities. And to bring in Constantine,
to tap in that music, that magic aspect of it too. I think it's going to be really cool. I feel like we saw maybe a little bit similarly in Shazam, maybe, but Zatanna is like all magic. And it's funny, we talked about this on Pop Council on Monday. It was me, Roka, and my co-host Jamie Philbrick. And Roka, what did he say about? Oh, he was like, he's like, I'm putting Tiffany Smith's name in the hat to play Zatanna. And I was like, and I co-sign because I
she
think
would
she
be able
would
to pull that off. I think
Yeah.
she's a great actress.
Yeah, Tiffany is a great actress, super talented. Also, she's a huge DC fan. She's cosplayed
Mhm.
as Zatanna, so I feel like girl needs to audition. I'm pushing for you, Tiffany. Let's see, what else do we have in Newsflash today? Oh, this is interesting. So this came out, I think, either today or late last night, but in an interview with the comic books Twitch stream, they had Joe Manganiello on, and he talked about that in Ben Affleck's Batman, which obviously now we're never going to get to see, but he talked about how Batgirl had been intended to appear in the film. It was a really exciting way. And here's the quote from Joe. He says, and I'll link, actually, let me see if I can. I don't know if this is going to be the right link. Nope. That's definitely not the right link. Let me go ahead and drop the link of that interview. It's on Twitter, so I will.
liked this one little clip that we saw from this interview because it really showed what the Batman movie was going to be like, the flavor of it. And the way that Joe Manganiello kind of described it was that they were going to turn it to more of kind of like Bruce Wayne has finally met someone who can take him down. So all throughout, as they're moving out throughout Gotham, you're getting kind of this horror movie Jaws kind of like vibe of when is Deathstroke going to appear? When is this fight going to happen? And I was just sitting there and I was just like,
yeah,
that would have been so cool.
So click on the shorter link, guys. The first one's really long. You're gonna have to copy and paste both. So just copy the shortened link, and that should take you to the Twitter account that has that video that Dustin's talking about here. But we do have the exact quote on our notes, and I'll just go ahead and read it to you. He says, there was like a big, huge showdown. Batgirl jumps in to try to help Bruce because Deathstroke is so fast that he can anticipate Bruce's movements. Batman is completely afraid because he realized he's met someone who can take him. And then that leads to this big climatic battle through the streets of Gotham City. But yeah, it was like a real psychological thriller where Deathstroke was kind of a horror movie villain, like a shark, kind of like Jaws.
I know. I would love to see that kind of a story. And the thing is, too, we haven't seen a movie where the majority of it where Batman's intimidated. You know, it's not just the fact that, oh, Batman has a moment of, oh, he's scared or nervous or he's afraid for other people's lives, but to where Batman is now going, oh, wow, I can't handle this. This is something, I mean, I've been Batman for 20 years, and this is something that this is the first time where I'm like, I feel like I'm out of my league kind of a thing. And to have that kind of vibe with Batman to where he's going to have to overcome this fear that he's so foreign to him. And I would have loved to have seen it. And honestly, I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought he did a good job.
I know. And I mean, at least we got to see a little bit more of him in the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, to kind of hear all this now, and I'm kind of glad Joe talked about it. It's just what would have been. And you know, the thing is that what if
yeah,
what if the opportunity, you know, presents itself, it could happen. So, you know, I'm not holding my breath or anything like that, but I don't want to say I've completely abandoned hope that it could happen.
Yeah, true. You know? And with the way that Warner Brothers is going, I mean, it's very possible for them to be like, hey, you know what? There's enough people who would love to see this kind of a movie. So it's going to make money. So why not just make another
make an HBO Max event?
Yeah.
Do it.
An HBO Max event. Or to make, even to, like, you could still have the Robert Pattinson Batman, but then bring in Ben Affleck's Batman in a different movie. And since the way Warner Brothers is going, they could do that. They can be like, heck, you know what? It doesn't matter that we have two different Batmans up there. People know that they're in different universes. Obviously, one's played by one actor, one's played by a different actor. So we just want to tell an awesome story.
Yeah, I agree. So, you know, but I'm glad that we hearing about it now. It's kind of fun to kind of think in our head what kind of a movie we would have gotten. The whole psychological thriller thing would have been so great to see.
Mhm.
Like I love that. And again, thank you to Devin for sending over all the super stickers, and to
Thank
both
you so
Chris's
much.
for sending a super chat today. It
Mhm.
helps the channel out so much. We appreciate it so much. And we're gonna also go ahead and kind of move on to our, that was a terrible certain transition, but we're gonna go ahead and
Oh,
move towards
that's
to,
actually a confused taco. I like this. The idea of putting this into a miniseries.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be a full-blown movie. And honestly, that would be kind of cool to
Mm.
see kind of like Ben Affleck come back as Batman, and they do this story as more of a lower budget miniseries
I
instead of a
also
full-blown TV show.
would Mhm.
Sorry, full-blown big budget movie.
I would also love to see Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke. Like I just
Yes.
didn't barely got enough of
Yes.
him. Just like I want to see it. He looks great in the costume, obviously, but I really wanted to see him actually in action.
Mhm.
So that would have been fantastic to see, but
Yeah, and also I
it's what
loved
it
at
is.
the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, how we had a little bit of a longer scene with
Mm-hmm.
Deathstroke and name
Everybody literally
well, at the end it
oh,
had,
the first one,
yeah, bald guy.
Lex
Thank
Luthor.
you. Thank you. Names, I hate them.
We need Girl Scout cookies, guys.
Yeah, but I love that conversation that they had, and I love that it was a little bit longer than it was in the original.
Yes, yeah. So it's made it just a little bit more fleshed out, as we talked about. Oh, okay. So, I was thinking that maybe we've got about half an hour left. We'll go through our topics, and then maybe with the chat, if the chat wants, we can go into a little bit of a spoiler talk about the Snyder Cut, because we were originally
Ooh,
going to do
yeah.
that with the guest that we couldn't confirm for the show because everybody's schedule's all over the place. But we are still working on having them on the show. It just won't be this week, and that's totally okay. So with that said, we'll go ahead and move to our main topics here. We're talking about, this makes me so sad. The next two pieces of news makes me a little sad, a little disappointed.
Yeah.
So Pixar's Luca is going to skip theaters, and it's going to debut as a Disney Plus exclusive. This will be the second Pixar movie, so didn't get a theatrical release. And now Luca will also be skipping theaters, which makes me really, really sad. They and it's interesting because theaters are starting to open up more. I believe in New York they are opened.
Mhm.
In LA, I believe as of last weekend they started to open. I know I saw one or two friends post on their social that they had gone to an AMC or whatever movie theaters near them. We haven't gone to one yet.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. We don't feel comfortable yet, but like, the opportunity is there if you would like to, if you feel safe to go. So I feel just really sad because, especially, and this kind of goes into the next topic we have lined up, is about Black Widow. So Black Widow and Cruella, I believe, are both getting theatrical and Disney Plus PVOD
Yes.
release. But please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think the article that we read that they will both be coming out to theaters and to Disney Plus on that premium. You have to pay the premium membership. And I was completely wrong on this. I was months and months, months and months ago. I was saying there's no way that they're going to release. Well, technically, I said release it solely on Disney Plus. I guess I was only half wrong, but it's still the fact that, yeah, I'm completely surprised that they are going to be releasing Black Widow on Disney Plus, because this is one of their big tentpole movies for Phase 4. So I was really thinking that they're like, no, we're going to hold off. We've held off this long. And technically, they've pushed it back almost an entire year because of situations. But I really thought they were like, okay, you know what? We're just going to hold out and this is going to be our first big budget released movie into theaters to kind of kick off the, hey, we're back kind of a thing. And no, and I'm really curious on how this is going to turn out, how the movie going experience is going to be changing. I mean, it looks like it's going to be changing drastically to where it's not just the movie theaters that you can only watch these big budget movies. And once theaters reopen, is this trend going to end of being released on streaming and in theaters, kind of a thing.
Mm,
I'm really curious to
yeah.
see how this evolves, to see how if I don't want it to happen. I don't want movie theaters to become obsolete
Right.
because there's still so many things that are wonderful about going to the movies, about getting that big bucket of popcorn, having all of those concession stands. That's true, you have to pay, an arm and a leg for. But you're still like,
Accurate.
I got my sour gummy bears, I got all my popcorn, my hot dog, and just
Yes.
arms full of just goodies
Just
sitting
so
down.
happy. Half your popcorn's gone before the movie's even started because you get there too early, so you're
Yep.
watching all the commercials.
And hopefully you got a large popcorn, so you're like, okay, the movie's going to start in like 2 minutes. Run out, get a refill, and come back.
At AMC, you can do that. I don't know if you can do it at like Regal or some of the other places, but like you certainly can do. That's one of the things that we do. And then by the end, we're just like, we still have a lot left. Sometimes we bring it home.
I bring it home.
Yeah.
And I eat it in. But
refill that soda before you walk out.
I'm just really curious on how this is going to evolve. Like, say in the next year or so.
Yeah.
If movie theaters go back to the way that they were, and they stop, and a lot of the studios stop putting their a lot of their stuff on streaming at the same time, or if there's now going to be, okay, now that theaters are completely opened, we will release it, and then like say a month later we will release it on VOD.
I honestly think the trend that you're talking about to release films in theaters and on streaming platforms, whether if it's exclusively on a platform like a Disney Plus or HBO Max, so like day and date releases, I feel like we're going to see this trend at least through all of 2021, and that term maybe won't be renegotiated or whatever reworked until 2022, just because we have to see how the virus does again this winter.
Oh,
To see,
yeah.
hopefully there won't be another spike, but we've seen
Not this winter, this spring. Well,
spring right now,
where we pretty much started, where with the first.
but as in just the trend of the virus spiking in the winter is kind of like what we saw
Yeah.
last year. Like it dropped, in the summer because the weather is warmer and things like that. But in the winter, we'll see. I feel like it won't be a spike. If there is, it won't be as high as last year. But I think I don't know, keeping everybody safe and still have your movies released in via all types of platforms, so the audience can come and take however to absorb it in whatever way they can. I think they're still going to do it in a streaming or in a theatrical release. I think we'll see that trend continue for 2021, but I am really sad about Black Widow. This was the one movie that we were both really pushing for theatrical release because we felt like Black Widow deserved it, more than deserves it. Like this solo movie, I've said it before, I'll say it again, this movie should have happened years ago. And I would have loved to see this as not an origin story, not a prequel, because now we know what happens to Black Widow, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I really wish we would have gotten this movie like before Endgame. Kind of a thing. And honestly, Black Widow deserved it. I mean, she made her appearance in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
So she's been around for a while, and she really does. She's such an amazing character, such a deep character, and how she's able to hold her own with a character with having no superpowers, just being an incredibly badass spy.
Yeah.
And to see more of her backstory, to see more of what kind of builds or drives and motivates her character, I think would have been amazing to see before we knew that the events of Endgame.
Yep. So we will, I mean, this is coming out July now, beginning of July in the theater. So we'll see how Dustin will see how we feel, because this is one I really want to try to go and see it in theaters, to give it the support and to experience a Marvel film
July 9th.
in the theater again. It will feel so good. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys updated to see what we're going to do. But if we don't, we will definitely happily pay the $30 on PVOD to watch it at home. It won't be the same. We'll have to bump up the sound bar and something like that, to make sure that It sounds great, it looks great, and all that stuff. But it does make me a little sad. And then also, kind of on the subject of movie releases, we have Marvel's, or not Marvel, but like the release schedule coming from Disney/Marvel. We have Free Guy that's coming out on August 13th. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, September 3rd. The King's Man on December, not plural, man. On December 22nd, we have Deep Water. This is going to be January 14th, 2022, and Death on the Nile, February 11th.
I'm surprised on how
And then
far
Spider-Man
back
Far From Home later this year, even though that's not Disney, it's technically
Sony,
Sony, but
yeah.
Marvel, right?
And also, I'm really surprised at how far back Death on the Nile got pushed.
No, I was so looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I liked Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
And I really I'm surprised that they pushed it back so far. I mean,
yeah.
it was supposed to be released in 2020, I believe. That was the original date.
Really?
Or maybe it wasn't. I'd have to actually, don't quote me on that. I do have to go back and look it up. But yeah, the fact that I remember I was getting excited for this movie, had an incredibly star-studded cast, and the fact that it's being pushed back so far to 2022.
Love me a good murder mystery.
Mhm.
I can't wait for it. Let's see. Oh, we have a super chat from Black Bonalala. Thank you. He writes, I was shocked that Disney was going to put Black Widow on Disney Plus. Same
here.
Black Widow was for sure, I believe, would be in theater. Literally, Black Bonal, same
here.
I was so disappointed. Like, I
Mhm.
felt so I just felt bad for not just the cast, because it's not the only movie that kind of got this treatment, right? Like we saw with Mulan. So it's not to downplay any of the other movies that got the same treatment, but it's for me, the character.
Yeah.
She's come such a long way. She finally gets a standalone movie, and it's not just debuted in theater. But honestly, to kind of play devil's advocate and look at it from the other way, from another angle, if releasing it both in theaters and on Disney Plus is going to allow more audience to feel comfortable viewing the movie without having to leave their home,
No, true.
Then so be it. If this is the way they feel that it's going to get more eyes on the film, then so be it. Because what I want is eyes on the movie. I want her story to be told. I want to see the other characters in the movie. I want to see Taskmaster. So they're, I know.
I'm gonna be so mad if they kill Taskmaster at the end.
You think?
Because I would love to see him appear again later on in the MCU, for him to kind of come back to fight Black Widow and then end up going, oh wait, she's dead. What do you? And then he's just like he feels like he wants some revenge, kind of a thing. So he's just going to take it out on the Avengers team. Yeah. Or he goes after like the Young Avengers, kind of a thing. Yeah. I think that would be cool because he's just a very cool character.
Yeah. And kind of on the topic of, future movies being released both in theaters and PVOD, I'm pushing for Shang-Chi to be a theatrical only release.
Yeah. Oh, probably by
September. I really think so. And I hope by September, that's going to be my birthday event. Is just go to the movies. If I feel comfortable, I want to go to the movies and just enjoy the popcorn, enjoy watching full-on action, fight sequences on the big screen.
Yeah.
With surround sound, like Dolby Atmos, Amazon Prime, well, not Amazon Prime, sorry, AMC Prime, if they're like the Prime theaters, like that's what I want. That is what I want. So with that, you guys, that is basically the end of our topic. So we thought that we would leave the last little bit of the show, the last 20 minutes, to talk a little bit Justice League spoiler with you guys. So before we do that, we're going to go ahead and take this super chat from David Humphrey.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. David writes, hello, do you think that the Eternals might move now from November, now that Shang-Chi has moved to mid-September? Possibly.
That's but honestly, I think the Eternals are in a safe spot to where they would be. And also depends on how each one of the stories kind of line up, because we don't know when the timeline of the story actually takes place for a lot of these movies. So I think that's been a big dilemma that Marvel has been having to deal with, is that they don't want to release things in an
In the wrong
order that,
order.
yeah, in the wrong order kind of thing, to
Yeah.
where it would spoil something else. Like if I'm not mistaken, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to be released before WandaVision, right?
That's what we heard. I think who said that to me? Was it in the chat? Was it in Discord? I can't remember who said it, so I'm so sorry I can't remember the name. But somebody had mentioned that to me. But I don't remember reading it like an article on it, but it could be correct. So looking at the release date for Eternal, so that's going to be a February 10th release as of now, I think.
Well, that's February 10th.
20. Oh, that's
That's an
that's
old release date.
outdated.
So it's also one of those things that, it's, you know, yeah, a lot of, I mean, even we're getting conflicting
Yeah,
information.
when is it supposed to come out? On November 5th.
Oh, yeah, November. Okay, so November 5th, 2021.
I don't think they will delay it more because I feel like typically the reason why there's usually not a Marvel movie, and again I could be wrong because I honestly don't remember like going to the theaters and I don't know, it's like distant memory, but I feel like in the past they've done no Marvel movie in the winter because of like a Star Wars film would usually be there,
Yeah,
but
true.
there's no Star Wars film coming out anytime soon, definitely not 2021, so I can see it being Shang-Chi, then the Eternals, and then we go into Doctor Strange in 2022.
Which sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, so we will see. I'm gonna take a look in the chat to see if we missed anything in regards to movie release dates pertaining to like the Disney release schedule, but I'm not really seeing any right now.
And also,
Yeah.
I'm curious too, because from what we've seen from Falcon and the Winter Soldier with
Mm.
their timeline, it seems like they're starting off seriously talking, yeah, about the blip kind of a
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
They've already had in episode 1 a whole bunch of conversations of storyline details about the blip, where
Mm-hmm.
WandaVision didn't really mention that until episode 4. So it would kind of make sense that they would first have all of this, would have had all of this conversations to kind of educate the audience. And then in WandaVision, when they showed Maria come back from the blip,
Oof.
it would have hit
Monica.
Monica. What'd I say?
Maria.
Oh,
You said her mom. That's all.
it would have hit the audience a little bit more because we would have had a lot more backstory behind it. So I'm a little curious now to see how much of the blip we get to see in Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
and how much is going to be once we see Falcon and the Winter Soldier, go back and watch WandaVision again and see what details might have been like, oh, I get that.
Interesting. Well, we can do that in 5 weeks because that's when we will get to the
Sounds too short.
end.
It sounds, we only have 5 more episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Editing
and
Wendy
we just
is having
started.
anxiety already, though. Editing Wendy's already having way a lot. It's tomorrow. I already have to stay up tomorrow. Maybe that's why I couldn't fall asleep last night.
Oh,
because my body is like, you got to stay awake until 6 a.m. to edit. Anyways, you guys, we don't have that much time left, so we will talk a little bit about Zack Snyder's Justice League. If you are a Patreon supporter, then you will see the video. It's like, I think I edited down to, I honestly don't remember how long the video was. It's a pretty lengthy one. But we have a all-out spoiler discussion and review on our Patreon if you guys want to check that out if you're a Patreon supporter. But let's talk about some of our favorite moments from Zack Snyder's Justice League, because I would say this was like an event, like obviously a lot of high anticipation for this. Snacks were planned out, bathroom breaks were planned out, and I think those parts made perfect bathroom breaks.
Yes,
because like every time we got to a new part, we would pause, and we would like kind of get up and get more snacks or Postmate ice cream or whatever it was, crazy things that we did. But I would say one of my favorite things that they did, and this is not in any sort of like rating order, rank, or anything like that, but I would say to fully see Cyborg's story completely fleshed out, especially the one where his dad left him that video, that like a cassette player, and he played it. He's like, hey, Victor, and kind of very scientist explaining what he's experienced, what he should be experiencing in his new body, these abilities that he has, what he can tap into. And my favorite part was like you can play with like bank accounts and
Yes.
like you can crack the code for this. And he goes to look at sort of a surveillance camera of this single mom who's working, you know, hard jobs, barely scraping by, and kind of does the Robin Hood thing and giving her that like little snap.
And I like that he had his hands and would just
And
raise.
she was just like, "Oh my god. Oh my god." And just it just made me feel so happy to see his story completely fleshed out, because I've always said when
Yes.
I watched the theatrical cut that I didn't feel that there was so much more to this character that we didn't get, but what was it? Because I liked him enough already in the way it was presented, but what if there was more? And it just,
There was.
yeah, so it's that was definitely a favorite of mine. And another one I would say, surprisingly, Steppenwolf.
Yes.
I didn't really care
Honestly,
that much for him in the theatrical, but in this one I was like, yeah, okay, he got a backstory too, a little bit of more motivation.
mm-hmm.
So that was cool.
And it made him more than a minion. It gave him a mission. It
Yes.
gave him more. You got to see more of what his like moral standing was. His what drove him as a character, and just to
Mhm.
give us those little hints and those scenes with where he was just begging on his knees, kind of a thing. I'm just like, that is such a great development of a character, and I loved the way he looked. I love the way he fought, the way he talked. Just it made everything better to have just that more depth to his character. But one of my favorite action scenes, I have to admit, it's the same thing that Jack says. We both loved the Wonder Woman scene where she saves the hostages.
Oh
And
man.
I was just like, I was so, I mean, it was just so much more pumped, so much more, yeah, just seeing Wonder Woman go in there and kick ass and take names. And I think that was the first moment to where we actually saw like blood splatter
Mhm.
in it. And you're just like, oh, where she just like backhands the guy and you just, you're
Dead.
just like, yeah, his neck just got snapped, kind of a
Dead.
thing. And it was just such a great fight. It was such a great the action, the way Zack Snyder did that. He does his signature ramping up the speed moments, and Wonder Woman's fighting style just fits in with that so well. And it was one of those moments to where if we saw it in the theaters, I would have been like, yeah, I would have stood
Popcorn
up,
everywhere.
popcorn everywhere.
That would have been great. And kind of to the same point here, Debbie writes, "Daughters of Themyscira, show him your fear. We have no fear. The Amazons were
Yes.
awesome. Yes, they were. Show that Zack Snyder understands." Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also happy to see in the Snyder cut that a lot of, actually all of my favorite scenes from the theatrical cut are all the ones that showed up in
No, true.
this night. So I feel like kind of justified in liking parts of that theatrical cut, because I was like, well, okay, it makes sense because Zach's the one that did those things. So I was really happy about that. Black Bottle Lala, thank you so much for your second super chat.
Thank you so much. And yes, this moment,
My favorite was the Flash rewind back time.
I like that because true, and he made a point to be like, I shouldn't break this rule. I can't break this rule, kind of a thing. But there's no choice, and
everybody was dying.
Everyone was dying. It was just a great moment of not just cool special effects and action, but character building for Barry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, I liked a lot of his slow motion speed scenes.
Yeah.
The way that Zach choreographed it and directed it and made it look. I just thought it was beautifully done, and I want to go back and watch them.
And speaking of the Flash, like, can we love his very quick interaction with Iris West?
Mm-hmm.
So cute, kind of saving her from would have been a horrible car crash. Also, I remember watching the scene of the truck driver, and I was like, that burger, well looking, delicious. It is on that nasty floor of that. You're gonna pick it up and eat it. No, not worth it. Drive yourself to Big Belly Burger and pick up another one, because
get a new burger.
Just get a new burger. It's not worth it. But I kind of like we saw a little bit of that, because in the theatrical cut, all we got of the Flash before Batman went to Barry Allen's like little hideout was just seeing him on surveillance. And that
Yeah.
was it. And that told us, it honestly told not us nothing, because we know the Flash, we know of his ability, and like, you know, if you know the Flash backstory, you kind of know what he's about. But for the general audience, they're like, so what? Who is this? Some delinquent trying to steal?
Yeah.
Like, it's so much more than that. And so,
I do have to admit, I did miss the black pink in the background when he
oh yeah,
enters the cave. But honestly, that's not a. It's not like one of those moments to where you're like, I have to have that.
Was it a boom? Was it Boombaya, or was it
Do 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 do. Yeah, I think it was
Boombaya?
that. I
Okay.
think it was that one.
Okay, I can't sing it because YouTube's gonna take this video down. But let's see. Somebody else said something that was really interesting. Oh, I'm gonna totally butcher your name. I'm really, really sorry. Safiwe, I think, Safiwe. The theatrical version made no sense on how the mother boxes woke up. They just
Yep.
woke up when we were forced to move on. LOL. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's an amazing point. Yeah. Honestly, that is very true. You know, they just like, oh yeah, and the mother boxes wake up. But the fact that we got that moment of Superman's scream and the mother boxes boom, boom, you're just like,
oh, something bad's going. They know
oh.
the Kryptonian's gone, and they can now
Mhm.
wake up. I don't know.
And-
It was really cool.
And honestly, I was kind of hoping that they would bring it, like do like a little bit of a spoiler, or not a spoiler, but a little bit of a cameo for Green Lantern, or mention Hal Jordan's name, or mention
We
that.
just saw that one lantern, right?
Yeah, we all, and I think
Maybe
in the
two?
theatrical cut there were 2 Green Lanterns fighting Steppenwolf in the past
In
with
the flashback.
in the Age of Heroes, but in this iteration there was only one. So I was curious. I'm like, oh, why is there only one?
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm always like, hey, the more the merrier.
Yeah, this is true. We also have Jack saying this as well. The beginning of Justice League, where Batman mentions about the parademon needing fear, etc. Glad that was out.
Oh
I
my
forgot
God.
about that. I forgot about that.
I remember even watching when we were watching in the movies. I'm like, in the theater, I'm like, what? Where? What does this have to do with anything? How is this make any? And then they just moved on from it, and they were like, okay, you know what? We'll just. The movie just started. We'll move that to the side. Maybe they'll explain it later. They never came back, and it's probably a good thing they didn't.
We want to also shout out to Martin. Martin writes, shout out from Germany.
Hey!
Love your channel. Thank you so much. Hashtag restore the Snyder verse. I mean, wouldn't that be cool?
That would be awesome, honestly.
Cool?
And I think there's so many people out there who have universally just said this was amazing.
Yeah.
That they really could. And honestly, instead of making, I mean, oh shoot, who said it in the previous chat when we were talking about it? Turn it into a mini series that you could do.
I
on
can't remember.
HBO.
That was so far ago. I won't be able to find it.
Yeah, it's we won't be able to go back, but that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love for them to do a mini series, Justice League Zack Snyder universe.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Or full on motion picture. That's fine too. Which everyone just give it to us.
I don't mind if it was like an HBO moment too. You know, that'd be really, really great. Amr with another super chat.
Thank you.
Amr writes, this was Cyborg's story. Yes. Everything revolved around him. He should have had his own movie, agree. And the Old God versus Dark Side battle was epic. Zeus was badass.
That moment where he just gets that axe whoosh, right here, and you're just like, oh.
And he's like, retreat. Flesh wound. Retreat.
It's only a flesh wound.
I honestly would have loved just a little bit more of Darkseid, but kind of looking at this movie as a whole and thinking about the setup that Zack Snyder had to do in not just telling and introducing new characters that haven't had their own standalone movies yet, and that includes technically Aquaman also, The Flash, and Cyborg. But to also set up for where this whole thing can go once they form the Justice League. Where would they go next and things like that, by bringing like Deathstroke and you know, the nightmare scene that we got to see with Mira and everybody else, alternate timelines and things. It would have been really amazing to see. And I think that the reason why we didn't get to see he didn't show as much Darkseid is because he's got already 6 members of the Justice League. Plus, he added, you know, there's like the Lois Lane Martha story. There's the sneak peek at Martian Manhunter. There is, gosh, what else? It's just so much. And then to have to, not only introduce Darkseid to the general audience who may not know if he's like the big bad or not. I think he was saving that for like the continuation of this universe.
Yeah.
Then we would have gotten more in all the follow-ups, kind of like, I don't want to like compare with Marvel, like that's what I'm not doing at all, but Thanos had a lot of setup.
Yeah.
For many movies, many post-credit scenes, and it would make sense for Zach to also do just a bit of setup for Darkseid in this one. Not really show him off too much.
He also had a lot to, like you said, he had to do work on Cyborg. He had to tell Cyborg's backstory. He had to tell Flash's backstory. He had to bring all these people together, then have Steppenwolf, then and then it's like, you know what? We're going to hold off on, we're going to have a little bit of Darkseid in there with plans to do more with him later. But yeah, to be able to then put Darkseid in there more and give him the time that he deserves.
And apparently, according to Debbie, Warner Media has the head put the kibosh on the idea of the Snyderverse, so posted that to Discord. So thank you so much, Debbie, for posting that in our Discord. I'll go ahead and take a look once we are done with the live stream. But that's a bummer because it was great. You know, he literally set it all up.
Yeah,
and
honestly, I'm a little. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dean. Dean's watching us from Australia.
Woo!
Thank you so much. But yeah,
and the original idea was to make this 2 movies. Why didn't you just stick with the original idea, kind of a thing? Honestly, I think
they're afraid of a 4-hour movie.
Well, split it into 2.
They would have been split into 2. It would have been perfect. Would have been fine. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Anyways, you guys, hope you guys had fun chatting a little bit of spoiler on Zack Snyder's Justice League with us. We didn't get to do it in the way that we were hoping to do it today. It would have been a slightly different show, but that's okay. We have the time to do what we want to do on a different day. So we will announce that once all the scheduling has been confirmed.
Yeah. And one chat that I did want to just shout out to, Jason Bourne, Omega Beam for the win.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I geeked out at that moment. I was like, Omega Beam, yes.
He did.
That's exactly what, and then hits the guy like behind him. I was like, that's an awesome moment. I wanted to see more of that. I want there to be more Darkseid in a future. What apparently dark? Oh,
no, you can finish what you're saying. I was just also pointing out just another tip. Apparently, Darkseid, since we're talking about how there's not enough of him in this one, that he will be in the New Gods, according to Ava and her writing partner, which will be great.
So you are one of these new gods. Man, I am not impressed.
I'm just thinking about how dirty they did freaking Steppenwolf.
Yeah,
like he actually managed to get all three mother boxes together. Actually, like if the Flash hadn't like run back in time, actually would have been successful, but was not. And then freaking Desaad and Darkseid just looked at his head like, well, knew that was gonna happen. I was like, oh, he tried so hard.
Almost. What is that? Close enough does not count. It only counts in horseshoes, kind of a thing, to where, sorry, technically you won, but they found a way to make you lose. You still lost, man.
We'll do these the old way. Isn't that what he said? Yeah.
The old-fashioned
way. Very exciting. Well, you guys, that's it for today's live stream. Dustin and I are going to go and drive through and get some Girl Scout cookies. We'll post to our social once we go do that. Hope you guys had fun hanging out with us today on a lovely Wednesday afternoon or early Thursday morning, I think, depending on where you're watching from. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back on Saturday where we'll talk all spoilers about Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2. So we will see you then. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hitting that thumbs up button really helps this channel out. Oh, you guys, and we also hit 40,000 subscribers.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. We did it. So continue to support, please. Continue to hit that thumbs up. Share the videos to anybody that you know who's geeky just like us. And we will see you on Saturday. Talk to you then. Bye. Oh, sorry. I hit your hand.
We're dorks.